If you're new to my page, my name is Jenna Moore. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in London, Ontario, Canada. And typically every Sunday, I go live at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time and I share with you new projects that I'm working on, new products or techniques. Tonight, we are actually working with one of the bundles that is retiring. So if you're not familiar with our catalog changeovers, in recent years, we have changed over our full-size annual catalog at the beginning of May, and so for this month I'll be featuring retiring products, which will be tricky also because of the global supply shortage. A lot of products are already sold out, which is really sad. So I did check tonight. What we're working with tonight is still available, so if you're interested in the products that you see here tonight, make sure to jump on and place your order because some of the stuff is only available while supplies last and there seems to be dwindling supplies. So as I said, the new catalog will be coming out in May. I can show you the cover of that catalog tonight. I do have catalogs on order, so if you're interested in a catalog and you live in Canada, feel free to send me a message with your address and I'd be happy to get one to you. But enough chatting. Let's switch around my setting here. Oh, and everything changed on me while I had to restart my streaming software. So bear with me a second. Okay, so first of all, I want to mention that it is a new month, and that means there's a new loyalty reward host code. So this month, this is the host code that is available. So when you place an order online or you send me an email with your order, and it's $50 or more, you do get a free product from me each month. So this month, I can't show you the picture of the product because it is new in the new catalog, but it will be a half pack of the 6x6 glimmer paper, and it's all the new in colors. So I'm not sure how well this will show up on here. But in this picture are all 5 new in colors, and they're quite spectacular. They're nice and bright and vibrant, and so the glimmer paper should be equally bright and vibrant. So that is the host code. If you have any questions about that, you can let me know. I'm just going to zoom back out here. This is going to be a fun time. Okay. And so, like I said, we do have a new catalog coming out. This is the catalog. I don't think I can get rid of the glare. And like I said, I have catalogs on order. So if you are interested in a catalog, let me know and I'll make sure to get one to you later this month. The catalog does not start until May 3rd. So we've got lots of time still. Lots of time to work with products that are in our current annual catalog that will no longer be available starting May 2nd. Or I guess May 3rd. So tonight I want to craft with you using You're a Peach. That's the sweet name in the current catalog, and we're actually working with the bundle and the paper tonight. So if you haven't seen Sweet as a Peach, it is on pages 60 to 61 in the current annual catalog. It was probably the suite that I most wanted when I first saw last year's catalog, and I do own everything in this suite. There are the jam jars are still available. Those are super cute for treat favors. The bundle is available, and the designer series paper are all available in the Canadian online store when I recorded this video. So I really like this stamp set. It's kind of a versatile stamp set. It doesn't have a specific theme. You can use it for all sorts of things. I've used it for baby cards, birthday cards, thank you cards, and everyday cards. So I'll show you what we're working with tonight. So really I'm featuring the designer series paper because I really love the colors that are in it. And I'm realizing now that I didn't bring my little cheat sheet, so just hang on a second. So this is my little designer series paper cheat sheet. This is sort of a snippet of all the different patterns of paper on both sides and all the coordinating colors. So there are some pinks and oranges and also green and blue and brown to work with. Lots of coordinating colors with this designer series paper pack. So I am using a couple pieces tonight. So I'll go through the measurements of this card and then we'll get started. So I picked Balmy Blue as the card base, and this is one of the coordinating colors with the Designer Series paper. This card base measures 8.5 by 5.5 and it's scored at 4.25. Then I have embossed a piece of Balmy Blue, which measures 5.25 by 4 inches. I did emboss it already with the Tasteful Textiles 3D embossing folder. This is one of our retiring embossing folders, and I did check the online store. It's actually discounted, so it's only $9.80, which is amazing. I think this is an embossing folder that I'll hold on to for a while because I use it quite a bit if you just want some subtle texture on the back of your card. Let's see if I can, it seems to be quite a glare. Here we go. Okay, so there's that piece. Then I pulled one of the Balmy Blue and white pieces of Designer Series paper. This measures 4 inches by 4 inches, and this is the other side of the pattern. So in a second I'm going to cut this and we're going to use both sides. And then I have another piece of the Designer Series paper. So this is the piece that has big peaches on one side and then a polka dot pattern on this side. And I've already pre-cut it. Maybe that will help. No, that won't help with the glare. Tone it down a bit. Okay. This I've already cut with the basic border dies. These dies are carrying over, which is good news because I recently purchased these, so I'm excited to play with them a bit more. So I've used this die here, and actually when you cut with that die, you get 2 pieces with that stitched border edge. So I've been able to use both of my cut pieces, one for my sample card and one for this card we're working on. And then I have 2 scraps of white. So one of them we're going to die cut with a label for our stamping, and the other one we're going to use for the peaches. So we'll do our stamping first. And so what I want to do, in order to be able to do that, I need to die cut our label for the sentiment. So I've pulled one of these stitched rectangles from this Stitch So Sweetly die set. Unfortunately, this die set is retiring. It's one that I've used quite a bit. There are still, the dies are still available in the Canadian online store, so you can still grab those if they are ones that you've been looking at and they've been on your wish list. Now's the time to snag them because they're only available while supplies last. And the nice thing about these dies is they do fit in the mini machine. So I've got my mini machine here. I'm going to put my basic white, and then I'm going to crank that through. Hi Debbie, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so we will need that mini machine again. So I'm just going to put it aside for now. So here's our label. I'm going to grab my piercing mat to do my stamping. So on this label is where we're going to do the sentiment. And there are lots of sentiments available in the stamp set, as you can see. There's some bigger in the scripty fonts and then more of the plain fonts with smaller lettering. So lots of pieces that you can mix and match. For this card, I've chosen the stamp that says Sweet as a Peach, but then I've also paired with it Hope Your Day is as Sweet as a Peach. So there's lots of different coordinating stamp greetings that will go together on this one. I should show you, this is the color palette that I'm working with tonight. So we have Pear Pizzazz, Pale Papaya, Calypso Coral, and Balmy Blue, 4 colors from the Designer Series paper. So you really don't have to do any of the guesswork about what colors are going to go together. You just pull them from the back of Designer Series paper. That's one of the things I love about our products is it takes the guesswork out of it. You don't have to be, you know, an interior designer and figure out what colors go together. You're just going to pull them from coordinating colors and they all go together so nicely. So I'm picking Balmy Blue and I'm going to stamp. And I've put both of my stamps on one block. Hopefully that wasn't a mistake. If you have a Stamparatus, that's probably what I would recommend for these when you're doing 2 at the same time. And I'm going to stamp that off to the right hand side. There. So we've got that one. It's a little hard to see. There we go. Okay, and so while we're here, we're going to stamp the peach. So I've chosen the big peach stamp and the stem and leaves that go with it. And I'm going to show you a little bit of a technique here. So I'm grabbing pale papaya, and Calypso Coral, and I'm actually going to use both colors on this peach. So this is probably my favorite reason why I like to use this stamp set, is because you can create such definition with the peach stamps. So the peaches are distinctive stamps, which means it has that extra texture and definition in the image. And so I've stamped it in Pale Papaya, which is the lighter of the two colors. And then I'm going to come back with a sponge dauber and Calypso Coral. I'm going to dab that in there. And I'm just going to go around the edge of the peach because, of course, if you've ever bought peaches, you know that they're not one solid color. There's usually multi variations in the color of a peach. And so I'm going to swap this out, and I'm going to use my scrap of basic white and push that down. So there you can see the variation in the color. So the nice thing is that you can play with what the peaches are going to look like. They don't all have to be the same, just the same as natural peaches. And there we go. And if you're like me, I only eat peaches when they're in season and when they're ripe. So when they're ripe, they tend to get more of the darker, more of the variation in the color. So maybe that's why I'm drawn to the way you can create these peach images. Now I'm grabbing Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to stamp my leaf. And again, this leaf is a distinctive stamp, so you're going to see more variation in the color here. I'll wait for this to focus. And it won't. So I'll just zoom in. There you go. So hopefully you can see that variation. They're in the two images. Okay. And now we are going to cut these out. So there are dies that coordinate with the stamped images in this set. I'm going to pull this out, and we're going to grab the mini machine again. And I think I can get both of them on here at the same time. Okay, so with these I'm going to put down the piece of paper, and when I put my dies on, I'm going to use some post-it tape to hold them down because I don't want the dies to move. Hopefully at some point we'll get a magnetic plate for the machines. I know there is one coming for the standard machine. We just don't know the timing, and of course supply issues create problems whenever you're in production of a new product. So, but it is supposed to be out in the next year. Here we go. Now we have these fun pieces, and that's all of our die cutting. Just gonna put this away. So now it's time for assembly. So you can see how lovely this turned out with the peach and the leaves, and they're die cut images. So we're getting more layering, more I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. More definition, more interest. That's the word I was looking for. I'm going to take my card base and fold it in half and score it or burnish it using my bone folder. And tonight I'm just going to use my liquid Tombow glue. And so I'm going to put some glue on the back of my embossed piece of Balmy Blue. And that's going to go right in the middle. And then I did say I was going to take my Designer Series paper and cut it. So I've got my trimmer handy. So like I said, this piece is 4 by 4. I'm actually going to cut 1.5 inches off one of the ends. And then one of the great features of our designer series paper is because it's double-sided, I can layer these patterns like this and take advantage of both sides. So I'm going to glue down the first one. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the idea for this card actually came from the current sketch, what do you call that? Like a sketch design from Freshly Made Sketches. If you've never heard of them before, they send, if you sign up for their newsletter, every week they send you a sketch for a card, and you can join in creating just on your own, or you can actually, if you tag them on social media or on your blog, you can enter to win. I guess they pick their favorite design, and then you're the winner of that week. So it's my take on this week's sketch. So I'm just lining all these pieces of paper up together. I'm realizing I cut this, or didn't cut it enough, so I'm just going to trim off the edge here. There we go. So all 3 layers, they're together. Then I'm going to add my label, and I want to add some more depth to this, so I'm going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals. Like so. I'm going to put this right in the middle. And then I'm going to add more dimension by popping up the peach, but first I want to glue my stem on the back. So I'm just going to layer them a little bit and then put my dimensionals on. I'm just going to take my paper snips and cut a little bit off the edge here and use that on the leaves. And then I'm going to have this over to the left-hand side. There we go. And then the last couple of things I want to do here. So I'm going to grab some of my champagne rhinestones. As you can see, these are well loved. I need to order another package. Thankfully, the champagne rhinestones are carrying over because they're one of my kind of like those, basic necessities that I use. And I like them because I think that they're pretty similar in color to Pale Papaya or Calypso Coral. So they coordinate well in this card. And then the last thing I'm going to do, if you own your Wink of Stella pen, this is a glitter pen with a brush tip. I don't use it as much as I think I should, but today I used it on the peach and I really just loved how it glistened. So you just paint it over. And I'm using a light hand on this because I don't want it to smudge the image. But it just adds a little glistening, which probably not going to be able to, oh, you can see a little bit there. So that adds just a bit of bling. So that's our card for tonight. And of course, I want to show you some other samples that I have using the Sweet as a Peach bundle. So I pulled some out. And I'll show you them here. So this one here, I actually cased. So this one, the design I picked from Ray Jean Communal. She's a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I did that same technique with the peaches. I'm going to zoom in here. And these are the smaller peach images. And then I'm using a different piece of the designer series paper. On the inside, I've stamped the larger piece, the same as we did tonight, but I just stamped them one on top of each other. And this frame is one of the larger frames in the scalp contour dies, which thankfully are carrying over. I'm very excited about that. And this is another of the labels from that same set. So there's that one. Then the next one, this one I actually received in the mail from my secret sister last month. So this one is a take with the Pale Papaya cardstock and then the black and white bold patterns. This paper is from the Party Punch pack, which is a hostess that you can earn for free with a qualifying order. This paper will be retiring, and it actually may be sold out already, I think. But I like how the black and the old olive and the peach colors really coordinate well together. And then the last one I created, I've done this design with other stamp sets, but it's kind of a peekaboo with the designer series paper. Again, I used that same frame as I did in this card, and the same large peach and the Sweet as a Peach stamp. This ribbon is the open weave ribbon, and it will actually be carrying over in all of the in color colors from 2021 to 2023. So if you haven't used this ribbon yet, it's amazing to tie. It just it's really pliable, lends itself well to tying bows. So if you don't like tying bows, this is the ribbon you want. It's nice and easy to tie. So these are my cards tonight. I hope that you enjoyed this Sweet as a Peach bundle. And like I said, retiring products are while supplies last. So if this is a bundle that you're interested in, make sure to grab it sooner rather than later. And otherwise, I hope that you have a good evening and a good week. If you have any questions at all, let me know. Otherwise, I hope to see you next Sunday at 7:30 for Sunday stamping. Take care and have a good night. Bye now.